Thank you for that countdown, Lyriel. You guys, the anticipation is real here. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Good morning. My name is Alana. My pronouns are she and her, and you are here at WOOF, affectionately known as WOOF, West Hills Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. And I am here to serve you as your lay leader and also lay leader for our visiting Reverend Joy. Over the last year, we have seen many new faces, people like you, people like me, looking for their safe place to stand against the tyranny, the uncertainty, and the violence. And I want you to know that this is your safe place. We are your safe people. No matter where you come from, no matter who you are, your nation of origin, your sexual orientation, your immigration status, your gender, your home culture, your age, or whether you know what my kid means when she says 6'7", you are 100. If you know what it means, come and talk to me after the service. She won't tell me. You are welcome here. And like I said, we are your safe place. Please take a moment to greet everyone. Try to find someone you haven't met yet. And I see a lot of orange stickers, a lot of new faces. And ask yourself or ask the person next to you how they have been shown civility or graciousness this last week.
Let us all sing, We Would Be One.
Understand
I love chorister Sundays. We don't have one song leader, we have. Lyriel, would you come up, please? Lyriel's going to light our chalice for us. You need some help, sweetie? You want to come too, Perry? Come on. All right. Do you want me to pick you up? Ready? Okay. Well, there you go. You practiced and everything. You got this. The chalice is our symbol of our shared faith. The chalice is a symbol of our community, our oneness, and the greater understanding we reach toward together. It is not magic. It is sacred only in its power to remind us of our bright purpose. Like this flame, we burn brightly in our hopes, glowing undeniably in our love, a light to combat the darkness, love to hold back the hate. Can we blow with you? Yay! It takes a village. Great job. Go sit down, please. Great job, Lyriel. Please join us in our affirmation. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful and what is wondrous. Let us open our minds to learn what is true and what is mysterious. Let us open our hearts to love ourselves and our neighbors.
In this month of practicing resistance, indeed in this very moment in our country's history, it is good to call upon the spirituals, these songs that touch us so deeply, born from an enslaved people, American people, who did not yield to their oppressors, but who kept faith in a higher power of goodness and humanity, not just the God of a religion forced upon them. They understood that if they kept their lamps trimmed and burning, they would be ready when that day of freedom arrived. We offer humbly, keep your lamps.
As the ushers come up for the baskets to pass around, and we just marinate in that beautiful music that we just heard, may we remember this gratitude and giving all the largesse of this earth and of future generations who went before us and built what we enjoy today. Our capacity to grow and hold fast in these tumultuous times is due to the roots granted us by those who came before. We are grateful for the giving of our ancestors, our predecessors, especially the native peoples who stewarded this land and whose land this is long before Wolf loved these trees. As you assess your capacity to give today in monetary donations or the generous gift of your talent and your time, because it takes a lot of volunteers here, remember that what we build today will outlast us. The roofs we maintain will shelter the generations to come. The community we feed and teach today will teach and feed those who come later. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity. Join us in our words of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. I'd like to invite Izzy up to lead our Time for All Ages. Kids, you can come up to the front. You can sit here in the front rows, or you can sit here on the ground on the steps.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Izzy. I'm the Director of Religious Exploration here at WOOF. And today we have our good friends Elephant and Piggy. Should I share my ice cream? Ice cream, get your cold ice cream for a hot day. Oh boy, ice cream. One ice cream, please. Here you go. Oh boy, I love ice cream. Wait. Piggy loves ice cream too. Piggy is my best friend. Should I share my ice cream with her? Should I share my awesome, yummy, super sweet, great, tasty, nice, cool ice cream? Maybe Piggy does not like this flavor. Sharing a flavor Piggy does not like would be wrong. I will eat the ice cream. Wait, Piggy will like this flavor. It is very yummy. I will share my ice cream. It will not be easy. Hey, Piggy is not here. She does not know I have ice cream. I will eat the ice cream. Where is Piggy? What if she's sad somewhere? I must find her. When I do, I will say, "Would you like some of my ice cream?" And then she will say, "Thank you, that would cheer me up." Then I will give her my ice cream to share. Yum. Then my best friend will be happy. I will do it. I will share my ice cream.
It melted.
No. Now Piggy cannot have any of my ice cream. Now I cannot have any of my ice cream. I blew it. You look sad. Would you like some of my ice cream? Oh, thank you. That would cheer me up. Yum. That was not my plan.
It was the opposite of his plan.
It was the opposite. It was the opposite of his plan, in fact. Sometimes that happens. We plan things out and they don't quite work. And at times when we're feeling sad, we can look out to our community around us and see who is willing to share their gifts and resources with us. Today, the kids are going to go to their classrooms, and we've been working on setting up our donation box for the sock drive so that we can share our resources and gifts with our wider community, even beyond Woof. So look for that. Next week, our sock drive starts, and it's one of our favorite and most important giving times of the year. So, because it's really, really cold right now. Whew. So if you are able to, form arches across the aisleways, and we are going to sing our kids to their classrooms.
There is so much joy in this world, as Elephant and Piggy effortlessly remind us, but as our children really hammer home. So much joy, goodness, love, and beauty all around us. And there is so much pain in this world. In Minneapolis, in Palestine, in Sudan, and in Iran, in our personal lives. Each of us knows both hope and loss, and together here we create a circle of celebration and, where it is needed, of compassion, wide enough and deep enough to hold all of the joys and sorrows in our lives. May I use this mic, or shall I use that mic? This mic? Kelly's the one who's actually in charge here. We will be practicing our joys and sorrows today, and if you feel so moved, you may come up and place a stone into the water, coming up this aisle, and to return to your seats coming down this way. The water here is the community of compassion that bears all sorrows, and the water is the community of celebration that shares all of our joys. If you do come up, just remember we have grown, and as the true joy of inviting more people to share their joys and sorrows with us, as a result, we do need people to keep their shares to a few words if they feel the need to say something over their stone, to make sure that everyone can feel heard. And you can begin lining up this aisle and here. If you want to. Sure.
I found something I can do to resist. I can make phone calls to the Republicans to tell them, please, country over party.
Two stones. This one is, they're both white, but this is obviously for the distraught and hurting people. You mentioned Minnesota. I just can't imagine. And this one is for my grandson, Hunter, who's Angie's son. He is in the process of driving from here. He left yesterday to drive up to North Dakota to work on the oil rigs. It's going to be below freezing. So we're concerned about his travel, but he's happy, and we're happy.
For my son.
Several of my friends who are dealing with cancer. Four of them.
This is a stone of sorrow and mourning for Alex Petrie and his family.
I am 4 months sober.
Congratulations.
I have a message from Jen, and for those of you who don't know Jen, she is our Radar O'Reilly. She's our administrative assistant. And she writes, "The tumor is dead, but still inflamed. The blood clot could have killed me, but it didn't. It looks like I got to the hospital just in time. The doctors want her to stay low, rest, recover, recuperate. So we will continue without her and do the very best we can."
My son's 13th birthday party was yesterday, and it was just a joy to see him surrounded by friends after some hard years.
I dropped this stone for friendships. The older you get, the more precious they are.
For the strength to resist, no matter the consequences.
The same people who taught me that the Second Amendment is supposed to protect the First are now telling me that Alex Petrie deserved to have an entire magazine emptied into his back because he had a concealed carry. Make it make sense.
That's just to purge the nausea that's been with me and all of you probably through all we're seeing. May there be. I'm a midwife. I caught a baby, and I was reminded of the hope and the love that there's a reason to care and to fight.
For my mom, she's recovering from major stomach surgery with ease.
My daughter, who I've mentioned, has been struggling with a lot of serious physical problems, is feeling better and advocating for herself, and it's just giving us a lot of hope.
For all those joys and sorrows that were left unspoken, and for my family in Iran, we heard from them. They're alive, but some of them have been shot. They're in hiding right now from their government. Ordinarily, we have a silent moment after joys and sorrows to reflect. But I feel like this has been just a little extra. And I can feel it in the room. And I want to give us a moment through guided reflection to let it go and be in this moment and in our breath together. If you wouldn't mind closing your eyes with me. Focus on your breath in out, in, out. Now hold your hands out in front of you, forming a soft cup. In, out. And as you breathe out again, breathe your pain, fear, or anger into the cup of your hands. Don't worry, it won't overflow. Breathe in and out. In and out. And as you are ready, deep on a long exhale, relax your fingers. Release it. In. Out. Let this pain fall from you. Let the weight fall away. We will catch it for you. In. Out. Be free of what you cannot change and return to this moment right now with me, surrounded by love and understanding. In. Out. Let your hands fall down on an exhale. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Reverend Joy Atkinson was a Unitarian Universalist parish minister, both as a settled and a Unitarian minister, interim minister for 41 years before retiring in 2018. She served congregations in California, Arizona, and Minnesota. She is Minister Emerita of the UU Congregation of San Mateo, California, where she served for 14 years. In 2022, she moved from California to Beaverton, Oregon, to be near her son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren. She sings with the West Side Singers and in the choir of the UU Community Church of Washington County. We will now be doing a reading.
This is a high step here. Good morning. It's very good to be with you this morning. The words that we're going to read were written many years ago by the Reverend A. Powell Davies, who was a prominent activist Unitarian minister of the All Souls Church in Washington, D.C. And the words are as poignant now, if not more so, than when he wrote them. The years of all of us are short, our lives precarious.
Our days and nights go hurrying on, and there is scarcely time to do the little that we might.
Yet we find time for bitterness, for petty treason and evasion.
What can we do to stretch our hearts enough to lose their bitterness?
Here we are, all of us, all upon this planet, bound together in a common destiny.
Living our lives between the briefness of the daylight and the dark.
Kindred in this, each ignited by the same precarious, flickering flame of life. How does it happen that we are not kindred in all things else?
How strange and foolish are these walls of separation that divide us.
Let's join together in singing hymn number 95. There is more love somewhere.
I'm gonna keep
That hymn expresses a wistful longing for a better world, where there is more of the positive, more love, more peace, more hope, more joy. The implication, of course, is that the world as it is has less of these qualities than it should. And of course it's true. All we have to do is glance at the news on any given day to see the opposite of what the song longs for. There is so much hatred, division, aggressiveness, and violence in the world. An ICE officer shooting a woman, Renee Good, as she tries to turn her car away. And now a man, Alex Pretty, shot dead by ICE agents as he lay motionless. These extreme violations have left many of us shocked and grieving. Since I've mentioned their names, I'd like to just pause for a few moments in their honor and memory. Our cultural norms have changed in the past few years, even in the past few decades. Angry rhetoric and ugly name-calling against those perceived as enemies, like dubbing a whole ethnic group garbage, has become normalized, unfortunately. Harsh language and casually hurled epithets often pass for communication. Acts of violence seem to proliferate, and in everyday life, people are often quite uncivil to one another. Someone once asked Mahatma Gandhi what he thought of Western civilization. Western civilization, Gandhi said. Why, I think it would be a very good idea. The word civilization implies a certain level of civility between people. The two words obviously have the same root. Being civil means more than just being polite. It involves awareness about how our behavior affects others. It requires that we intend no harm. By this definition, Gandhi himself had been treated to more than a little Western incivility in his lifetime, in his struggles against racial prejudice in South Africa and against British rule in India. Gandhi's little jab at Westerners is a point well taken today. Incivility, lack of courtesy, and rudeness are rampant. People tend to be hurried and abrupt with one another, getting angry at others routinely, uttering choice words under their breath, or even out loud when they find themselves thwarted or frustrated. Politics in particular these days is filled with the rhetoric of hate and divisiveness. These tendencies can't help but make their way into our consciousness. How many of us have found ugly words and even name-calling rising to our lips when we're frustrated, angry, or when we believe we have been personally crossed by someone? The incivility of human to human can manifest as mere impoliteness, but it can also escalate to shouting matches and physical violence. Sadly, it happens every day. Incivility is portrayed in many of our modern forms of entertainment. Language in music, films, television, and literature is rough and raw. Cursing is common. Violence is often glorified, and people often treat each other disrespectfully in pursuit of their self-oriented goals. Incivility has become so much the norm that some of the old-fashioned words that denote civility, words like manners, etiquette, courtesy, decorum, propriety, virtue, these sound a bit quaint nowadays. I had an experience a couple of weeks ago in a grocery store. Walking through the store, I noticed what looked like a family, mother, father, and a little kid, maybe 4 years old. And some other patron tripped over the little kid as he walked behind what I presume were his parents. And that little kid uttered the most foul thing to this patron in the store. And I was so shocked to hear this. I glanced at the parents thinking they would reprimand the child gently perhaps, but at least say something. And they just kept walking. Everyone heard the kid for quite a ways around. It was very loud. And it was shocking to me that there was no consequence for what he uttered just by the accident of tripping over someone. In a book, in 1997 book titled The Triumph of Meanness, Dr. Nicholas Mills identified several factors that may account for our modern crisis of incivility. He mentioned economic disparities, disbelief in government as a force for good, which is intensifying, and the rise of hate groups that promote division instead of reconciliation. Dr. Mills wrote that analysis almost 30 years ago. It is so much more poignant today. He mentioned as a source of our troubles internet messages instead of face-to-face conversation, just one source of our troubles. And how true that is. Today's social media outlets are replete with divisive rhetoric and name-calling, not to mention a boatload of misinformation designed to set groups of people against each other. Cultivating civility in a world like ours, I would say, ultimately rests squarely on the shoulders of each one of us. I would like to suggest that in today's climate, becoming more civil is really a revolutionary act, an act of resistance to what have become very unfortunate cultural norms. I believe that much of our everyday rudeness and incivility stems from the widespread stress that people feel over a multitude of personal and global issues. But our incivility, has a deeper root than this stress. It comes from the cult of selfishness, which has become a part of the proverbial American dream. Everything is, as the Beatles put it, I, me, and mine. If we could cultivate a sense of we, us, and ours, instead of I, me, and mine, we might hesitate before speaking the unkind word or being unnecessarily rude or abrupt. Some years ago, I was in a mixed group of American Unitarian Universalists and Canadian Unitarians. We were attending a conference on conflict management techniques. During one exercise, we were asked to prioritize issues and interests within a hypothetical congregation according to level of importance. What struck me is that every American Unitarian Universalist placed individual interests above those of the whole congregation, and every Canadian Unitarian put the interests of the congregation as a whole at the top. It is very typically American to think of the individual, me, as having rights before considering what is best for the common good. Incivility, I believe, is in large part a result of an over-focus on self-interest at the expense of community. There's a little story told by the poet Carl Sandburg in which an old farmer from Kansas is standing in his wheat field one day when a stranger drives up in a covered wagon. The stranger asks the farmer, "What kind of people live around here?" The farmer says, "Well, what kind of people was there where you just come from?" The stranger answers, "Well, I guess there was mostly a low-down, lying, thieving, gossiping, backbiting type of folk." "Well," says the farmer, "I guess that's about what kind of folks you'll find around here." The stranger drives off, but soon another stranger appears and asks the same question. "What kind of folks live around here?" Again, the farmer asks, "What kind of folks were there where you come from?" The new stranger says, "Well, they was mostly a decent, friendly, hard-working lot, I reckon." And the farmer says, "Well, I guess that's the kind of folks you'll find around here." The point is well taken. We reap what we sow. If we are civil and gracious, we will receive civility and graciousness. Not, of course, from everyone, but many people will respond in kind. How we carry ourselves through the world with lightness and grace, or with a chip on our shoulder, with an openness of mind and heart, or with a private agenda, with the needs of others as part of our consciousness, or with our own selfish needs exclusively in mind, this will affect how others react to us, which in turn will reinforce how we are in the world, and ultimately how the world reacts in kind. Years ago, while traveling in Northern California, I bought a few items in a store in McKinleyville. As I made my purchase, the cashier, a woman in her early to mid-80s, began chatting with me. She was very talkative, commenting on the items I bought and what kind of day it was and other trivia. I was in no hurry for once, and so I chatted back in full sentences rather than in one-word acknowledgments. The woman was so appreciative that someone was actually talking to her that she said, "You know, you're very nice to talk to. Most people are so mean. I guess they just haven't got time for an old woman." What she said made me feel good, but it also made me feel a little guilty, because I was aware that much of the time I am probably as curt in my responses as most of her other customers are or were. But her kind words to me have stayed with me all these years since. And I realize that it takes very little time or effort to be genuinely friendly rather than efficient, indifferent, and self-preoccupied, as so many of us are so much of the time. The experience got me to thinking about other ways to cultivate personal civility and social graciousness. I made a list of 5 steps to a more civil and gracious way of being in the world. Steps that I pledged to myself I would try to take. I'd like to share those with you. Step 1. As my little encounter with the cashier illustrates, I pledged to try being friendly and even a bit chatty rather than abrupt and businesslike. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't take much longer, and a few kind words go a long way. Step 2, being careful with language. So much of what is uttered these days in the media and in people's one-to-one encounters is harsh, rough, and crude. I hope I'm not coming off like a prude here, but I do believe that raw language, name-calling, and cursing may give rise to a meanness of attitude and behavior. And rather than relieving stress, it may instead intensify stress and anger. I pledged that I would refrain from cursing, even silently. And when I made this pledge, I became aware of how often I do it, even if only in my own head. Damn this and blank that, as do most of us. When such choice words rise to your lips or mind as the result of some slight on the part of someone else toward you, or when you feel frustrated, you can use your internal delete button. As much as possible, I've decided to make the screen of my psyche read, expletive deleted. Step 3, being slow to anger and quick to apologize. Anger can quickly get the better of us and can lead us to very uncivil and even violent behavior. Long ago, Thomas Jefferson advised a good rule for living. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. Hesitating before we burst forth in anger is a worthwhile self-discipline, which can result in a beneficial cooling off, but it is not always easy. As for apology, I believe apology to be a profoundly spiritual act. It too is not always easy to do, but it is essential for maintaining healthy personal relationships. A sincere apology can also be offered to a stranger as a way of de-escalating a potentially heated exchange. Step 4, being mindful of the way I disagree. We can be very gracious and kind, or very uncivil and self-righteous in the way we express disagreement. Civility requires that we use persuasion rather than emphatically expressing our opinions as the only way to see a situation. How important it is ultimately, or how important is it ultimately, one thing to ask yourselves, to be seen as right instead of being regarded as caring and kind. I've heard from people who find themselves, and this happens a lot these days, arguing over politics with relatives or neighbors, talk about how quickly the conversation can escalate into ugliness and division. How would it be when you find that you can't persuade someone to your way of seeing if you just de-escalate by being civil and calm, by agreeing to disagree with kindness? I know this isn't always easy, especially in these fraught times, but it is possible and worthwhile if you want to preserve the relationship. Step 5, expressing gratitude and refraining from excessive complaining. A socially gracious person is a grateful one. Those unhappy souls who are habitually nasty and uncivil toward others tend also to be constant complainers, and they are notably stingy with their expressions of gratitude. Being able to express gratitude for the gifts of life and to thank others for their gifts and kindnesses to us proceeds naturally from a full heart. I believe that an attitude of gratitude can be cultivated. When complaints and disappointments arise in your consciousness, as they inevitably will, you can make a quick mental inventory of some things in your life for which you are grateful. In the long run, I believe, this little exercise can result in greater awareness of your blessings, a kinder disposition, and a more accepting and compassionate stance toward others. So these are 5 simple steps on the road toward greater civility in our personal lives. And I think you can probably come up with others. I believe that as we practice more civil and socially gracious behavior toward others, we begin to change within ourselves. And that internal change helps us to be happier with ourselves and kinder toward others. Even if no one else seems to notice, we may feel better inside. And if more people brought these practices into their personal lives and their interactions, it could go a long way toward thinking of others, even those with whom we might strenuously disagree, not as enemies, but as fellow human beings with the same fears and shortcomings as ourselves. This would be a real step toward a more loving, peaceful, hopeful, and joyful world. I would like to have us sing "There Is More Love Somewhere," just the first verse, to punctuate what I've said. And thank you for this wonderful choir this morning. You rock. I expect that many of you now are feeling anger and rage after what has happened in our world recently. And I chose, with that in mind, these words for a benediction by Nikita Gill, British Indian writer, poet, and playwright. And the words imply that we need to increase our civility toward one another, and also we need to continue to work for and demand justice. Here are her words. The rage you are feeling comes from the same place inside your heart as the love. This is why you refuse to accept a world where cruelty reigns and the fire consumes all. You have known hope and joy and kindness, like you have known water. And justice is a river that demands you do not give up on it.
If you would stand, please, and have the front of the sanctuary face the back, and we will sing "Carry the Flame."